guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to Into the 99. I'm Lotus for another episode of Brewing It Live, where we brew a commander deck from scratch with the help from chat. And always, I have Han.
Hi, it's me.
It's always you, Han.
Uh-uh.
So, you brought this commander to the table, so would you like to explain what it is today?
Yeah. So I chose Extus, Oriq Overlord. This is a Mardu commander out of Strixhaven, MDFC. And on the flip side, it's Awaken the Blood Avatar, which I'm excited to talk about. But let's go ahead and talk about the legendary human warlock on the front. It's 1 white, black, black for a 2/4 double strike with Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, return a target non-legendary creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Now, that being said, you can certainly build a very nice aristocratic theme around this commander, especially on the front side. However, the one that interested me personally was the reverse side.
Okay.
Awaken the Blood Avatar. So you pay 6 black red for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast the spell, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each creature sacrificed this way. So anything that you sacrifice happens to make it cheaper, including commander tax. That being said, the rest of what Awaken the Blood Avatar says. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. Create a 3/6 black and red avatar creature token with haste. And whenever this creature attacks, it deals 3 damage to each opponent. All hail Blood Avatar.
Oh dear, what are you planning? And good evening, Luther.
Hey, how you doing, Luther? Gotta love a warlock? Sure. I like the Blood Avatar. That's my. So, if you haven't seen the tokens, they are amazing looking. Uh, yeah, we want everybody to sacrifice a creature, create a 3/6 with haste that attacks immediately and deals 3 damage to each opponent. So, yeah, let's go ahead and have that going.
Okay. So, go on then. How are you
the way
building
I
this?
want to do it.
Because I only thought of one really good card that you might want to put in this.
Okay, what was your card?
Well, you like to have the tokens, don't you?
I mean, we always love tokens, right?
So I instantly thought of Anointed Procession and double up on them because they're not legendary, are they?
No, they're not. Absolutely, yes, we want to create double the amount of tokens, just in general in this deck, actually.
Yeah.
Yes, we can have double the blood avatars. However, even if you don't have double the blood avatars themselves, you can certainly just have incidental value from sacrificing and doing some aristocrat type esque themed uh, things with this commander.
Yeah.
So, in order to activate Awaken the Blood Avatar, you do want to have a decent amount of creatures available to you so that you can make it cheaper, right? So, certain things that just give you incidental value off of that would be something like Bastion of Remembrance.
Ooh.
Bastion of Remembrance is an enchantment, so it's a little bit harder to remove than your typical aristocrat stuff. However, 2 and a black for an enchantment. When Bastion of Remembrance enters the battlefield, you create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So, anytime a creature dies, we drain the table for 1.
This seems good.
Seems pretty good. Yeah, and so that'll just generate you 1 token just off the bat to go ahead and get you started. And anytime you sacrifice it to cast Awaken the Blood Avatar, each one of those creatures that you sacrifice are going to drain the table. So let's say that you want to make the first time around Awaken the Blood Avatar costs just Rakdos, red and a black. If you had 6 sacrifices to make it 6 cheaper, you're instantly draining the table for 3 and gaining 3, right? And
Okay.
that's not including the effect of having each opponent sacrifice a creature, and then your red and black avatar creature token will also deal combat damage, and the trigger of when it attacks, it deals 3 damage. So you're talking about 3 damage off of Bastion of Remembrance, 3 damage off of Awaken the Blood Avatar,
Are you only
and
getting
then
1 life off of Bastion?
it's whenever a creature you control dies, right?
Oh, true. Yeah, depends on how many you sack.
Right. So in my example, it was making the 6 generic and
Oh, right,
Awaken the
yeah.
Blood Avatar.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I was saying. So yeah, that's one of the things that it just seemed to fit really well together. So lots of token generations should be just great. Obviously, the Anointed Procession is going to do some of that for us.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that really stood out to you though?
So if we want to attack with the token,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't really want to lose the token very often swinging into a large board state,
Sure.
I was thinking of something like it's an old card that I really love. Reconnaissance.
Ooh, okay. Reconnaissance. Interesting. Sure.
So Reconnaissance is a single white for an enchantment, and you can pay 0 and remove target attacking creature you own from combat and untap it. So if we swing at someone, they all take 3. Then say they block it with something that will kill it. We pay 0, remove it from combat, untap it. Also, after we've done combat damage to a player, there's an end of combat step. So after damage is done and resolved, we can then pay 0, remove it from combat, and untap it, giving it a kind of vigilance.
Yeah, pseudo vigilance. This is some very judge intense stuff coming out right here. Got it.
Well, I just
Yeah.
thought you might want to use those tokens a bit more conservatively.
Yeah, absolutely. Ashen has a suggestion of Idol of Oblivion. Seems like a nice little bit of card advantage. So, Idol of Oblivion, I believe, is the 2 mana artifact that you can only tap it when a token is generated, I believe, to draw a card.
Yeah.
But you also have the activated ability, pay 8 and tap it to sacrifice Idol of Oblivion, and you create a 10/10 colorless Eldrazi creature token. Who doesn't like Eldrazi, right?
The person that's facing it.
Yeah, but we're just trying to make 2 Eldrazi tokens with Anointed Procession so far. That's it. No big deal.
If we get
So,
enough instants or sorceries, then young Peasy or Sedgemoor Witch, says Ashen as well.
yep. Those are
Ooh,
both fantastic creature cards in this deck. So, Young Pyromancer, did you want to take the red one?
yeah,
I'll
it
take the
seems
black
to be
one.
my theme. 1 and a red for a 2/1 human shaman or shaman, depends where you are. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1 red elemental creature token. Seems good.
Yep.
And the other
2
one
with
was
Anointed
Sedgemoor.
Procession. Yeah, so Sedgemoor Witch is a new creature out of Strixhaven. It's the human warlock, 3/2 with menace, and it has ward, pay 3 life.
So whenever
So
someone targets this with a spell or ability, counter it unless they pay 3 life.
correct. And it also has Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token. And when this creature dies, you gain 1 life. Who doesn't like breaking the color pie? We're a Mardu deck creating a black and green pest creature token. Hell
Yep.
yeah.
With a ward ability that's generally in blue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can't can't go wrong there. And yeah, Ashen, Monastery Mentor is the other fantastic one in this deck. So Monastery Mentor, 2 and a white for a 2/2 human monk with prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a 1/1 white monk creature token with prowess onto the battlefield. So the general theme for all 3 of these creatures is that you're just going to be casting a non-creature spell, such as Awaken the Blood Avatar, and they will just generate creatures for you to sacrifice with. So go ahead and imagine you have any of these out, and you're gonna have a good time. You're gonna have a monk or a pest or an elemental that you're just gonna go ahead and sack right away to awaken the blood avatar and do it some more, right?
Yeah, seems reasonable. Um, there is a card that I was tempted to put in, um,
Oh.
but I'm not sure because of value of the card. So I was tempted to put in a Bitter Blossom,
Sure.
um, or the Dread Horde Invasion as a more budget version, as just an extra creature that
Yeah.
just gets bigger or replenishes itself once you've used it.
Yeah, I would say let's go ahead and just put in a Dreadhorde invasion for now. I would agree that Bitter Blossom is by far and away the stronger of the two cards because, um, well, Dreadhorde invasion, one in a black for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose one life and amass one, which means that you put an army of 0/0 black zombie army creature token onto the battlefield and it gets a +1/+1 counter on it. So if you're amassing each turn, you don't necessarily get multiple of these army creature tokens, whereas Bitter Blossom is the same effect. You lose one life and you create a 1/1 black fairy rogue creature token with flying, no less. So you get a flying blocker potentially as well,
Hmm.
but without any condition of having an army token already out, right?
Yeah, but I think for budget wise, this card is overlooked quite a lot
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
its ability, like whenever a zombie token you control with power 6 or greater attacks, it gains lifelink. It's not your army; it's any zombie token.
Right. So, yeah, any of the zombie creature tokens you happen to have, they're just going to go ahead. If they have 6 or more power, they're going to get you some lifelink, life
Yeah.
back. Who
Mm.
doesn't like life back, right? We're going to be using a bunch of life here, so.
True. It's a shame we're not in green, but then I think that'd be a bit too easy just making all those tokens.
No, it's got to be a little fair.
That's true.
uh, Luther says might want to add some more Soul Sisters action, like Cruel Celebrant. Okay. Cruel Celebrant, I love it. Uh, it's the Orzhov vampire, right?
Let's have a look. Yes,
Out
it
of Florida
is.
Spark. Man, I loved it when Cruel Celebrant came out. It was right up my alley.
Yeah, one white, one black, so 2 mana total. For a 1/2 vampire. Whenever Cruel Celebrant or another creature or planeswalker you control dies, each opponent loses a life and you gain a life.
Yep. So more drain effects that are just gonna happen to. I mean, we could certainly make this an aristocrats deck, but it just goes hand in hand with the Awaken the Blood avatar. My personal win condition is to go ahead and swing away with a bunch of blood avatars
You just want to
because
bolt people, don't you?
I mean, yes, but I mean, the best part about Awaken the Blood Avatar is that each opponent also sacrifices a creature for every instance of Awaken the Blood Avatar. Luther says, odd take. What about devil tokens?
Ooh.
Okay. You got any
Ah,
devil token generators?
yes, I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
Only the best planeswalker in the world.
Debatable in this deck, but we can go ahead and
Tybalt.
discuss it.
Your
Tybalt.
opponents can't gain life, and you can minus him to make devils.
Yeah,
If you're trying to win with those tokens and you're bolting them, you don't want them to gain life.
interesting take. Yeah, I can
See,
see that.
Ashen
So,
agrees. Ashen agrees. Right there.
War Tybalt. So, all right, so let's go into some planeswalkers that can do some work in Mardu for us. So, the first one that comes to mind right off the bat, Elspeth Sun's Champion is a fantastic one. 4 white for the Elspeth Planeswalker that comes in with 4 loyalty, but the +1 ability literally puts 3/1/1 white soldier creature tokens onto the battlefield, which is
No, it
exactly what we want
doesn't.
to do.
No, it doesn't. It says +1 gets 6 mana.
Yeah, exactly. So 6 mana, and basically it will essentially pay for itself off the first time you activate it
Yeah, that's
through
true.
Awaken the Blood Avatar. And then it's just pure value from there. And these are all blockers, right? So anybody that wants to attack you, they're gonna have to go through with some trample or something. Otherwise, you've got some blockers for days.
Oh,
Um,
on the same instance of a plus
Hmm.
ability on a planeswalker,
Yeah.
isn't Tevesh
Ah, you already beat me to it. Yeah.
Sat's Doom of Fools? Its +1 is literally create. Oh, sorry, it's +2 is create
Plus
two
two.
0/1 black thralls.
Yep. And the +1 on Tevish is sacrifice another creature or planeswalker. If you do draw 2 cards, then draw another card if the sacrifice permanent was a commander. But plus ability to draw cards or create tokens in this deck, absolutely. Yes, please.
Yeah, the draw cards in this is absolutely amazing.
Oh, I got one more coming. So you ready for War Liliana?
Oh,
Dreadhorde General?
you're disgusting.
What are you talking about? It says whenever a creature you control dies, draw a card. Yeah, go ahead and board wipe us. We'll draw that many cards. It's
Oh, I
it's
forget
true
that
of any
artwork.
tokens. It's true of any tokens as well, right? It doesn't say non-token creatures. So yeah, our blood avatars die, we draw a card. Our thrall creature tokens from Tevish die, draw a card. Soldier tokens, draw a card. Pretty gross. Uh, Incidentally, it also has a +1 ability to make a 2/2 black zombie creature token. And -4, each player sacrifices 2 creatures, which we want to do by awaken the blood avatar's effect anyhow.
Yeah.
And then -9, each opponent chooses a permanent they control of each permanent type, sacrifice the rest.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, when you ult Liliana, you should be able to win, right? But
I'd hope so.
yeah, the static ability on Liliana is just fantastic in this.
Yeah, she's really good in this deck. And
Hmm.
as I was saying, the artwork for the alternate art Japanese style is stunning.
Absolutely. Um, One other notable mention that I would like to throw in there, some of these are, less budget friendly as far as token generation. If you don't want to run an Elspeth or a Tevish, you can also do a Chandra, Acolyte of Flame, the one from M20. The +0 is just create 2/1/1 red elemental creature tokens that have haste and you sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step.
Yeah.
So yeah, just 2 tokens. They don't stick around, which is the why it's an honorable mention as far as for me. But
I'm wondering if the new spider's on here. What's the spider planeswalker called?
oh, Lolth, Lolth, Spider Queen.
Oh, she's on here.
Yep. So yeah,
-3
3.
though. Take
Yeah,
0.
but even the static ability is not the worst if you think
Whenever your
about it, right?
creature you control dies, put a loyalty counter on the Spider Queen.
Right. So you can essentially fuel the Spider Queen on herself. Absolutely. If we're gonna go ahead and add Lolth in here, I am more than happy. Deity of the Drow. Yes, let's get some dark elves in here.
uh, yeah,
So
I'm
that will be a
sorry.
fantastic creature, a planeswalker to come into Awaken the Blood Avatar. I mean, Extus.
Yeah, it's actually Extus, but
Yeah.
Mean Lady Nightmare Fuel. You're
Mm-hmm.
not
Mm-hmm.
wrong.
I mean, let's put it this way. My partner Tracy, she hates spiders to death. She is deathly afraid of one. One this big will come out, and she will say, "That was huge," and ask me to kill it. So
Well,
she looked at this and went, spiders," but
in
still wanted to build this.
yeah. See, spiders are fine
Spiders
unless
are
they're
great.
near me, and then you can burn the house down because the house is gone.
That's Tracy in a nutshell too. Yeah. So those are some of the planeswalkers that will give us some fantastic value out of this.
I'm just
Um,
yeah, that spider's just gonna
when
the
I
the
saw Lolth,
potential of this card. I think people see. I've seen people online saying, it's not that great." I'm like, oh,
oh no.
it's disgusting, especially that you do 8 damage minimum.
Yeah, she's gonna be pretty nasty. I think that people are definitely underestimating the flexibility it has, especially in, let's say, an aristocrats deck, right? Because it's just
Yeah,
black. You can just throw it into an aristocrats deck, and all of a sudden now you have a lot of creatures dying. She'll
yeah,
ult pretty much immediately, depending on the board state, right?
yeah.
So yeah. Any other suggestions that you had into this
I want to go
Lotus?
on back to kind of reconnaissance.
Okay.
Um, Another one is an artifact that does something similar in the same way
Okay.
as I want the effect. So Dolmen's Gate, back from Lorwyn. It's a
Ooh,
two
yeah.
mana artifact. Prevent all combat damage that be dealt to attacking creatures we control.
Okay. So
So
protecting our blood avatars.
yeah, so we can swing with our avatars and we don't have to worry about what they're getting stopped by because we just want to bolt.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
Yeah.
I can certainly see that being a good way to do it.
I mean, it
Um,
works.
yeah. So we're talking about some protection basically for our creatures.
Yeah. Ashen's made a
Mm,
suggestion, actually.
yeah,
Uh,
Felice.
Reverent Medium.
Mm-hmm.
So this is 3 white black for a human cleric. At the beginning of each end step, create X 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying, where X is the number of tokens you created this turn.
Yep.
I like
I
that.
love this card. Yeah. So this has any kind of flying, a lot of times you have things going over your head, especially in Mardu. If you want to go ahead and just have some flying blockers, yeah. These are these just police only cares about the number of tokens you created. So we're talking about any treasure tokens, any creature tokens, any tokens, period.
Any avatars?
But avatar, yeah, those are creature tokens.
They are. I have a
So,
few cards, but I kind of want to spread them out a bit because this was a very difficult build for myself.
hmm,
Because this was something you really wanted to build and in a weird way.
right.
And I struggled. So I have a few cards, but I'm not going to give them all to you right away.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I can work with that. In chat we have Ashen saying Orzhov Legends. So we're talking about Teysa Karlov and Elenda the Dusk Rose. So Teysa Karlov, I'll start with that one. 2 and Orzhov, white and black, for the 2/4 legendary human advisor. If a creature dying causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Creature tokens you control have vigilance and lifelink. So
Oh, that's
yeah,
so good.
let's give our Blood Avatar 3/6s, vigilance and lifelink. Let's just keep them up as six, toughness blockers. Seems
Yeah,
good, and lifelink no less too. So even if they do get blocked, we're still gonna gain 3 life off of each Blood Avatar. Yeah, seems great. Did
yeah.
you want to take over for Elenda? Elenda,
El-
the fun
El-
one from
Elender the Dusk Rose, the one that recently spiked due to the changing the Commander Death rule. So
Absolute.
2 white black for a 1/1 Vampire Knight with lifelink. When another creature dies, token or non-token, doesn't matter, put a +1/+1 counter on a lender. When a lender dies, create X 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is a lender's power.
Yeah. Yep. So if you have a sack outlet or somebody does want to blow up Elenda later on, yeah, we're gonna get a lot of tokens.
Yeah. Um, Luther, what is the other name?
Teysa
Oh,
Orzhov Cyan.
right, okay. Ashen's beaten me to the question because
Mm-hmm.
this one
Uh,
is
Ashen, I would
ah
love to see an Elenda build. Elenda's gotten so fantastic since that change, and yes, it has definitely spiked because for those that don't know, Elenda used to, due to the way that the commanders hit the graveyard, and you get to choose whether they go to the command zone or go to the graveyard. It used to be, I believe, a replacement effect.
it
So,
was. Now it's a special action to move it.
right. So Elenda used to never hit the graveyard, which meant that she never died, which means that those create X 1/1 white vampire creature tokens never used to happen. However, due to the commander rule change, now it works as you would expect, right?
Yeah.
So,
It was a
yeah.
scary change, but a welcomed one once I realised the implications, and it wasn't that bad.
Right. No, I
Um,
mean, most of the times it used to be that people would do it anyways, the way that you would expect, and quote unquote get it wrong at the time.
yeah,
So,
so it's kind of we were doing it by mistake.
right.
But this Tesa Oars of Scion is 1 white black for a 2/3 human advisor. Sacrifice 3 white creatures. Remove target creature from the game. Whenever another black creature you control is put into a graveyard from play, put a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying into play.
hmm
So more
So
token
anytime a black,
generation.
yeah, anytime a black creature goes to the graveyard, put a 1/1. Yeah, I'm okay with this. Um, I think with all these things saying that we go into, creatures going to the graveyard, and we're already talking about it. I feel like a black market is probably just a good include. Uh, so black market is 3 black for an enchantment. Whenever a creature dies, you get to put a charge counter on black market. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add a black for each charge counter on black market.
Oh, that'll pay for our avatars.
Yep. Avatars, anything else we want to do, it'll pay for a lot.
True. Yeah.
And let's talk about, I think one of the all-stars that get underplayed in general, but is a fantastic card, kind of goes hand in hand with Black Market a little bit. Um,
Okay.
Assemble the Legion.
You're
This
just
was in this was in a Boros guild kit, I believe. I could be
Gatecrash.
wrong. Yeah, I believe it was also in Mystery Boosters.
It
But
was. Let's
uh,
see where it was.
yeah,
Yeah.
Assemble Legion 3 and Boros red white for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you put a muster counter on Assemble the Legion. Then put a 1/1 red and white soldier creature token with haste onto the battlefield for each muster counter on Assemble the Legion. So both Assemble the Legion and Black Market are kind of very nice payoffs if you are able to just have them out early. But even if you don't, even if you get them later on in the game, especially with Black Market, you can get those charge counters on them pretty quickly. Assemble Legion obviously is during your upkeep, so better to have it earlier than later, but
Yeah.
it can certainly do a lot of work for casting Awaken the Blood avatar.
Yeah. Um, One thing I was thinking, we have quite a lot of tokens, but we also have quite a lot of valuable creatures.
Right?
So one thing that I was thinking might be a kind of protection is
Sure.
the Luminous Brood Moth.
Oh yeah.
So 2 white for a flying insect, 3 floor. Whenever a creature you control without flying dies, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a flying counter on it.
It says Mothra.
It is okay, Mothra in this case, but this artwork's really nice. But it's
Luther
Luminous
agrees.
Brood Moth. Um, so we could just get twice as much use out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if someone board wipes, we can at least try and recover.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Speaking of board wipes, one of the best ways to prevent a board wipe on our side as far as creatures being removed, uh, we have Rise of the Dreadmarn
Yeah.
as of late.
Jacuzzi Dan
Uh,
says Mothra slaps. Definitely.
Mothra does slap.
Was it
Your mic
Rise?
sounds very clear, Lotus. Rise of the Dreadmarn. 2 and a black for an instant. Uh, you create X 2/2 black zombie berserker creature tokens, where X is the number of non-token creatures that died this turn. So anybody wants to board wipe us, we're gonna go ahead and get that many zombie berserker tokens back. Or if we just sacrificed them and want to cast this and get some more tokens to keep going with Blood Avatar, yes, please. This can also be foretold for 1 black. So pay 2 and put it into exile, and you can foretell it for 1 black later.
Awesome. Okay.
hmm
Right. So there's a card that I reckon would be good as protection, but
Oof.
also benefits us with the Awaken the Blood Avatar.
Hit me with it. I think I have an inkling as to what it might be.
Oh, you might have a little inkling with my Ink Shield. We can't
See
have
what I did there.
Arachnogenesis, so we have Ink Shield. This card
Yes.
is insane. It's 3 white black for an instant. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to you this turn. For each 1 damage prevented this way, create a 2/1 white and black Inkling creature token with flying. This
Yes, I
card
love it.
ends games.
Yep.
This card's
So
silly. I'd recommend picking up these soon. They're only in the commander deck for Silver Quill. I would recommend buying them though.
yeah, I happened to get one out of the collector booster as an extra. So yeah, it's a fantastic card.
I just
You
paid
can't go
£3
wrong
and
buying
bought
the
the
single.
single.
It's fantastic. I can't get enough of them, as Dan would say. Um, yeah, why is Snow White? This is genuinely one of my favorite cards you can get in collectors too. Amazing. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Arachnogenesis is what, $30, $40? This is just another Arachnogenesis, but with a bigger kick.
And I mean, you pay a little bit more. You pay 2 more. However, you get a lot more stuff that you want to do in Orzhov. It's fantastic. I absolutely love it.
Yep,
So, yeah, I think so what are we up to as far as card count here? How are we
Arachnogenesis
doing?
does need a reprint. We're at 61. We're actually doing reasonably well today.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. All right, so let's go ahead and add some really solid cards, right?
Okay.
Um, so I think that uh cards like Ashnod's Altar and Phyrexian Altar are kind of auto includes for a sack outlet in order to get us these creature tokens and mana generation for our commander. And by our commander, I mean the sorcery, not Extus.
Ashnod's
So,
Altar and...
yeah, Phyrexian
Yeah.
Altar. So both of these are sack
Oh,
outlets.
jeez.
Ashnod's Altar.
That's like $80 now.
Yeah, Phyrexian. Honestly, Ashnod's Altar does more in this deck, I feel. But if you happen to have a Phyrexian Altar, definitely throw it in. The colored mana for casting the red or black pip in the Blood Avatar can be very handy. Ashnod's Altar, however, is 3 mana for an artifact, sacrifice a creature, add double colorless 2 to your mana pool. And Phyrexian Altar is sacrifice a creature, add 1 mana of any color. So, yeah, lots of sacking,
Okay.
lots of mana generations.
Okay. No Kamigawa today, but you get my second favourite set, Kaldheim with Tergrid.
Oof,
Is that the God of
Turgid.
Fright?
It is the god of fright. And I wasn't trying to make anybody sacrifice things, but yes, Ashen, I do believe this is probably a good card.
So it's a 3 black black 4/5 god with menace. Whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent or discards a permanent card, you may put that card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. That's disgusting, especially with our avatars making them sacrifice creatures.
No, you know what's disgusting is if you add a skull storm to that.
I can't remember what that does. I know that's for every time you've cast your commander, it does something.
Yes, skull storm, 7 black black. Think about this in conjunction with Turgid. Keep this in mind. 7 black black. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. Each opponent who can't loses half their life, rounded up. And
Ew.
this is copy it for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone this game. I wasn't planning on putting Turgid in, but I did have Skullstorm in, and it just clicked. So, Ashen, thank you.
No, Han.
What do you mean, no? Yes.
I mean, it's
It's
going in, but
beautiful.
Han.
Jacuzzi Dan, the theme song is playing over here. Got it.
Chef kiss.
Actually, speaking of Dan, hey, you know what's a great token generator, Lotus? What does Dan love to do?
Well, Dan loves to make tokens, an obscene
Think
amount
more.
of tokens.
Okay, think about that plus a land. What do you think?
Oh, Field of the Dead.
There we go.
Yeah, he's disgusting with that card.
Dan, would you disagree? So, Field of the Dead, we're just gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and make some zombie creature tokens, right? Enters the battlefield tapped, add a black, tap to add a black, or excuse me, add a colorless. And whenever Field of the Dead or another land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands with different names, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token.
Well, we're
Token
in
generation
three
on
different
land.
colours, so even if we didn't run all the expensive dual lands or fetches, shocks, we're still going to have the cheap Kaldheim snow lands, the bounce lands, the life gain, the scry.
Yep.
There's going to be plenty in
Absolutely.
there.
So, one of the things that I wanted to add in here immediately before we go any further, because we want to cast Awaken the Blood Avatar. Yeah. How about double vision?
Double vision.
Yeah. 3 red for an enchantment. Whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. It's definitely not subtle. It's very obvious what we're doing with it, but we'll still get value out of it. Say that you want to swords to plowshares on somebody else's turn, you're going to get double the value out of it too.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I haven't
yeah,
seen that
it's
card being used that often, and I think I'm going to start using it more.
oh, it's so good. And Ashen, yeah, we have assembled a legion in.
Yep, it's right here.
Yep,
It's another card I
already
want
ahead
to
of you on that one.
utilize. So I
Yeah.
have another card that
Hmm.
I really like. I don't see it very often. I'm probably another janky card player that I'm bringing to the table.
Hmm.
But Ogre Slumlord.
Ooh, yes. I love the Slumlord actually.
So it's 3 black for a 3/3 Ogre Rogue. Whenever another non-token creature dies, whenever another non-token creature dies, not just us, you may create a 1/1 black rat creature token, and rats you control have Death Touch.
Yeah, sure.
So if
So
they're
we're
sacrificing their
replacing.
creatures, we're going to
Hmm.
make more creatures getting more avatars.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not mad at this. Along similar lines, I think we had things like Pawn of Ulamog and Pitiless Plunderer, right? So Pawn of
Oh
Ulamog,
no, wait.
uh,
Just stopping you right there.
oop, yep, what we got
Ashen says Marinora.
Marrownarr. Okay, okay.
It's going down the second card I want to suggest because this is great. So all rats have
Hmm.
fear. Tap, sacrifice a rat, put X 1/1 black rat creature tokens into play, where X is the number of rats you control.
Sure. Yeah, let's go ahead and put it in.
But in the same line as Marinora, we go for its friend, Krenko.
Krenko.
2 red, create X goblins, where X is the number of goblins you control. We can just make so much tokens
Yeah.
for our sorry, mana rocks for our blood avatar.
Okay, okay. So my one card generate a ton of creatures was actually a very underplayed one, but I think it is very fitting, especially in this deck. Sot's Will, as in Tevish Sot, SZAT. 4 and a black for an instant. You choose one. If you control a commander as you cast a spell, you may choose both. But the first mode is each opponent sacrifices a creature they control with the greatest power. We don't care about that one. The second mode is exile all cards from all opponents' graveyards. Then create X01 black thrall creature tokens, where X is the greatest power among creature cards they exile this way.
Okay, so this will stop Zach reanimating loads of nasty Griblies.
Sure. However, anything that's big that we just got rid of, we're at least making that many black thrall creature tokens.
Yeah, that seems good. I like that.
Yeah. There's got to be a green player at the table, right?
I
Ashen
mean,
says,
yeah,
God's will is so good, 'tis in my Sarulf deck. Yeah, I really love it.
yeah.
So I'm actually surprised, Lotus, that you haven't mentioned your all-time favorite white card these days. It,
Um, there's so
white
many
artifact,
white cards that I
Warhold.
love. Are you talking about Archaeomancer's map?
Yeah, why not?
Well, we hadn't
Get
got
the
to ramp
planes.
yet.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, this card is absolutely stupidly good.
hmm
2 and a white for an artifact. When this enters the battlefield, search your library for up to 2 basic plain cards. Reveal them, put them into your hand, and shuffle. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, if that player controls more lands than you may put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. That
Right.
green player ramping, so are we. As long as we have the lands in our hand.
Yep, absolutely. Along the same lines, I'm going to suggest a Keeper of the Accord. It kind of does two things that we want to do at the same time, kind of hand in hand with Archaeomancer's map. Keeper of the Accord is 3 and a white. Human soldier creature token, creature with three, that's 3/4. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, if that player controls more creatures than you, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, if that player controls more lands than you may search your library for a basic plains card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, shuffle your library. So this will just put it onto the battlefield tapped immediately, first of all.
Yep.
And yeah, if they have more creatures than us because of a board wipe or what have you, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. It can rebuild us quite well as the table goes around and
Yeah.
comes back around to our turn. Awaken the Blood Avatar.
Ashen has suggested a very good card. Blot out the sky.
Yep, blood
So
out the sky.
X white black. Create X tapped 2/1 white and black inkling creature tokens with flying. If X is 6 or more, destroy all non-creature, non-land permanents.
Yep. So that does kind of get a couple of our because it's non-land permanent, so those artifacts and enchantments will go away. However, creatures, yep, yeah, I don't mind blot out the sky. I think
Yeah.
it's certainly a very fantastic include here. Just means 8 mana to destroy, or you could just do it for three, 3 as being X, and you can just have 3 black inkling creature tokens, and it you just paid 5 to get yourself 6 discount, right?
Yep.
Off of Awaken the Blood Avatar. Why is no white? Primal Amulet if you're trying to ask the backside. Not sure what the ask means, but I'm assuming yeah, cast the
Cast.
backside. Yeah, absolutely.
You're gonna cast the backside.
Yeah, let's copy the backside with yeah,
So
with the
Primal
Primal
Amulet.
Amulet.
Yeah. So the
hmm
front side of that is a 4 mana artifact. Instant and sorcery spells cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a charge counter on it. Then, if there are 4 or more charge counters on it, you may remove those counters and transform it. I like that you may remove them and transform. But the other side is tap. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. When that mana is spent to cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy that spell, and you may choose new targets for the copy.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic because it'll essentially copy the Awaken the Blood Avatar, which means that it will make 2 blood avatars. It'll also make our opponents sacrifice 2 creatures each.
Yeah. I'm
And
going
imagine we
to.
have a double vision.
Oh, God, yeah. I'm going to cut and land for that because it is technically a land card. And I think 35 lands is plenty. 36 might be pushing it a bit much.
Sure. I'm going to go ahead while we're on the topic of lands. Mirror Pool is a fantastic one as well. Mirror Pool enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap it for a colorless to your mana pool, but you can also pay 2 and a colorless, and you tap it. Sacrifice Mirror Pool. You copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. So let's copy our Awaken the Blood avatar off of Mirror Pool. The last one is 4 and colorless to tap and sacrifice. Put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of target creature you control.
So we
But
could
I think
just make a token of an avatar.
we could. I think the copying version is just going to be strictly better as we cast Awaken the Blood avatar, however.
True.
Why Snow White also says Chandra's Goggles. Which one's Chandra's Goggles?
Let's have a look. Chandra's. Is it Inventor's Goggles? No.
Chandra's goggles.
Pyromancer's Goggles.
Pyromancer's goggles. Yeah.
5 mana
That's the one.
legendary artifact. Tap, add red. When that mana is spent to cast a red instant or sorcery spell, copy that spell and you may choose new targets for the copy. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
why not? Add a red. Yep, let's go. uh Ashen. Ooh. Song of the World Soul. Populate the blood avatars. Yes, please. I believe it's 6 mana. 4 and 2 white.
What is that one? Song of the what? See, this
Song
is
of
why
the
I like
World
doing this.
Soul.
I'm learning cards that I have no idea what these are. Whenever you
Oh yeah.
cast a spell, populate. So we have a
Hmm.
token, we cast to make another one, and then make another one. Ooh.
Whenever you cast a spell, yeah, it's just any spell too. Could
Oh,
be a
it's any
creature
spell.
spell, could
It's
be
not even a
anything.
sorcery.
Yeah. No, World Song of the World Soul is fantastic. I believe that was in the Naya deck, pre-con, I believe.
It looks like it's in a precon, one of the recent ones,
Hmm.
but I'm not sure what one.
Yep. Let's see. Oh, just thought of another Kamigawa card, Boseiju. Okay.
A
Um,
Seiju. Oh, Ash is on the Kamigawa train now. Who shelters
yep.
all. Um, Comes
That's our
into
Ashen
play
Forest.
tapped. Tap, pay 2 life, add 1 mana to the pool. If that mana is spent to cast instant sorcery, it can't be countered.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Kamigawa card in.
I've got another one from Snow White. We've got Call the Coppercoats. So 2 and a white for an instant. This spell has Strive. This spell costs 1 and a white more to cast for each target beyond the first. Choose any number of target opponents. Create X 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens, where X is the number of creatures those opponents control.
Nice.
Yeah, somebody that decided to go wide, just like us, will use that. Hey,
Ooh.
Zach, Abzan tokens. I'm looking at you. What?
Legion's
All right.
Landing is solid land-based token generation. Westfell Abbey for backup Gridley. Oh, that's a good one,
Oof.
Luther. So, Legion's Landing.
Ixalan. Love it.
There it is.
So,
So, Legion Landing is a 1 drop, so we can do that pretty early. Single white for a legendary enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. When you attack with 3 or more creatures, transform it. And it transforms into tap, add a white, or 2 in white, create a 1/1 vampire creature token with lifelink. And the other card was Westvale Abbey.
yep. Westphal Abbey.
Yep, so it's a land, taps for colorless, pay 5, and tap, pay 1 life, put a 1/1 white and black cleric token onto the battlefield, 5 and tap, sacrifice 5 creatures, transform it, then untap it. It's a 9/7. And the
Flying
9,
lifelink indestructible haste demon.
yeah.
This is very Avacyn. That set is very appropriate for that. Yeah. Uh, Jacuzzi Daniel says, if you're making lots of tokens, you should run burn at the stake.
Oh, I
Burn
love
at the
Burn at
stake.
the Stake.
Go ahead. All yours.
I run this in my Krenko deck. It's absolutely amazing. So it's 2 red, red, red sorcery. As an additional cost to cast Burn at the Stake, tap any number of untapped creatures you control. Burn at the Stake deals damage to target creature or player, which is now any target, equal to 3 times the number of creatures tapped this way.
Okay.
So we can tap all of our tokens, cast it, then sacrifice all of our tokens to make a blood avatar.
Yeah. Seems good.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that.
All right. So before we go any further, I just want to revisit. So I kind of like the idea of making ourselves uh, self-sustaining. That's the word. So I wanted to add the Pitiless Plunderer and Pawn of Ulamog if we haven't already added those.
Pawn of
So,
Ulamog.
yep, Pawn of Ulamog, 1 black for a Vampire Shaman 2/2. Whenever Pawn of Ulamog or another non-token creature you control dies, you may create a 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn creature token. It has sacrifice this creature, add a colorless to your mana pool. So this will help pay for Awaken the Blood Avatar, as well as, um, yeah, just generating us some mana and some creature tokens as we sacrifice other things anyways.
Yeah.
And Pitiless Plunder is the bigger one. 3 and a black for a 1/4 human pirate. Whenever another creature you control dies, create a colorless treasure artifact token with tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So there you have your red and black generation.
Seems good.
Yeah. Ashen has, we're getting closer to 100, so 2 Solid Wraths, Ruinous Ultimatum, and Mythos of Snapdax.
Okay.
Ruinous Ultimatum, can't go wrong there. Ikoria Ultimatum, red, white, black for a sorcery. Destroy all non-land permanents your opponents control. Solid card.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
We're in Mardu. Might as well run it.
Mythos of Snapdax, is that the one where you choose a creature or they sacrifice stuff? Hang on, I need to read this myself. Two
So basically, you have to.
sorcery.
Mhm.
Each player chooses an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker from among the non-land permanents they control and sack the rest. But if you pay red and black, in the cost of casting this spell, we choose the ones they keep, not them.
Right. So white, black, and red in
Yeah,
order to choose what they keep.
I like that card so much.
It doesn't get run enough. We're in Mardu. Let's run it. All right.
What's
Luther says since we're token heavy, I'm going to say Twilight Drover.
I was just gonna
Twilight
say I've
Drover.
not heard of that.
Twilight Drover is 2 and a white, a 1/1 spirit. Whenever a creature token leaves the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on Twilight Drover. Okay. 2 and a white, remove a +1/+1 counter from Twilight Drover. Put 2 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying onto the battlefield. Okay.
Ooh, so that just
So creature token leaves, add a +1/+1 counter, pay 3 mana, remove that +1/+1 counter.
make two.
Yeah. 2. Make 2, which basically pays for 4. Yeah. Net gain as far as Awaken the Blood Avatar.
I mean, if we have Ashnod's Altar out and a lot of spare white mana, we could
Mm.
double up quite a lot.
Yeah, for sure. I like it.
And Luther always says, and Vindicate.
Vindicate.
Vindicate. That
Ooh,
one,
that's the Orzhov.
yeah, Vindicate. 1 white, black,
Mm-hmm.
destroy target permanent.
Yeah.
That's a good removal. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's see. Probably want some more aristocrat stuff, says Ashen. Zulaport Cutthroat, Vindictive Vampire, Blood Artist. Sure.
Okay.
Zulaport Cutthroat. Let's go ahead and add that one in first. 1 and a black for a 1/1 human rogue ally. Whenever Zulaport Cutthroat or another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life.
And
Yep.
the new Time Spiral old snapback frame looks amazing.
It does look pretty great. Vindictive Vampire is essentially the same thing. 3 and a black for a 2/3 vampire. Whenever another creature you control dies, Vindictive Vampire deals 1 damage to each opponent and you gain 1 life. And Blood Artist. Blood Artist, I believe, is 1 and a black for a 0/1 vampire. Whenever Blood Artist or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So this is the only one that isn't a drain the table as a target player. But yeah, all seems pretty fantastic to me.
So I have a question, and I
Mm-hmm.
also want Ashen's input because this is one that Ashen suggested. Because this one says target player loses 1 life and we gain a life. May I suggest something that may happen a bit more on our side and others, which is Mayhem Devil. So whenever
Ooh,
a
okay.
player sacrifices a permanent, Mayhem Devil deals 1 damage to any target. So we're not getting the life
Yeah.
gain, but it's dealing damage to any target. So we can start pinging things or knocking planeswalkers down from their ultimates or just doing things to be annoying. I love
Yeah.
Mayhem Devil so much. So they crack a fetch, a Revolving Wild, we can ping them. Their fetch
Yeah.
lands now cost them 2 life.
Yeah, let's go ahead and make sure that we get that in there because that's just incidental value, I think, off of us sacrificing and anybody else sacrificing. I mean, we just talked about Mythos.
Yeah,
Luther says the devil deals with planeswalkers as well. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, so what do you think of? I have. Where did that go? Uh, so I wanted to throw in a Flamekin Herald. Now, this is just one that I think would be hilarious. 2 and a
Okay.
red for an elemental wizard. It's 3/2, and commander spells you cast have Cascade.
Oh dear.
We're casting Awaken the Blood Avatar. Let's Cascade. What do you think?
I'm putting it in just because it's janky and I love it. Though, why is Snow White does have a point. We need more instants and sorceries because, at the very least, if we do cast the other side, which I have some intention you're not going to do at all, uh,
Nah,
but we can return some of the non-legendary creatures back to our hand.
sure.
But I do think we need some more removal,
Okay.
card
Yeah, let's go ahead
draw,
and start talking about that. So,
potentially ramp.
okay. So, what do you think of, well, ramp wise? I mean, we do have 2, right? We talked about Archaeomancer's Map and Keeper of the Accord. One of the ones that Ashen just suggested is Utter End, Anguished Unmaking. I'm gonna go with Anguished Unmaking if it's me, up to me. That new art looks sick, and I want to throw it into this deck so badly because Blood Avatars and that metal art is just match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Uh,
What's the other one though? So this is 1 white black exile target non-land permanent. What was
mhm.
the new one? Was it Fracture?
Fractured Identity?
No, not Fracture
No,
Identity.
it's just Fracture, I believe, if you're talking about
Fracture.
the one
1
from.
white, 1 black for an
Mhm.
instant. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker. I think for the
Yep.
extra 1 mana, I think the other one, exile target non-land permanent, is just better because it exiles
Yeah.
and it deals with everything.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty solid. Um, I always like to run a Boros Charm if it's just me. Uh, so Boros Charm, red and a white for an instant, deals 4 damage to target player or planeswalker. Uh, Permanents you control gain indestructible until end of turn, and target creature gains double strike until end of turn. So,
May I recommend one of Dan's hated cards?
oh, I already know. Let's go.
Rakdos Charm.
Yep, we're in the colors. Let's go ahead and do it.
If someone else is doing tokens, let's punish them.
Yep.
So,
Now, you have to be careful. If we have a ton of creatures, we need to sack them first.
yes, well, we can. We can sack them to our sorcery.
Sir.
So do it, yeah. Mind you, that's a sorcery speed, but we have also the altars and other things to do, so that's fine. But this will deal 1 damage to each for each creature they control to their controller. Plus,
What's
we
the
can
sorcery?
exile the Blood Avatar, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. I was like, Ragnos Charm is an instant.
No, I'm talking about sacking the board in
Got it.
response to Rakdos
Got
Charm.
it. Got it. Yep, that's fair. We got some additional suggestions in chat. So Ashen has swords. I'm assuming 2 plowshares. Luther says Despark, Utter End, Vanishing Verse. So
Hey, thanks for the
Despark.
subscribe, Delphi Santano. D-Spark?
Hey, how you doing? Yep, Despark. Oof,
I love that
I can't
artwork
read this
so
one.
much.
I can't read it though.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me switch here so we can read any of
Yeah.
the others.
Instant, exile target permanent with mana value 4 or greater, and that's paying Orzhov, white and a black. Yep,
Yep.
certainly a fantastic one. Utter End. Utter End is, I believe, Anguished Unmaking without the life loss and one more mana. So 2 white and black for an instant, exile target non-land permanent.
Yeah. I like that.
And let's see here. Vanishing Verse, I'm not as familiar with. Vanishing Verse, 1 and a black. Oh, this is out of Strixhaven. Exile target mono-colored permanent. Instant speed? Whoa, okay. This was not on my radar. I love it.
Oh, I forgot about this card.
Yeah, I think I like this better than the Utter End, personally.
So, are you saying that instead of Utter End?
Oh, I'm just saying if we have to come back to it, I think
I'll put
that's the one
Utter
that I
End in
like
the
better.
sideboard now.
Okay.
Just just because we're at 92 cards.
Sure. So let's see. I want to add Fury Storm. That's the red storm. Kind of similar to Skull Storm, but Fury Storm is 2 red red for an instant. When you cast this spell, copy it for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone this game. You may choose new targets for the copies. Copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the copy.
Oh
We're
no.
going to make a lot of blood avatars. Yes, please.
This is horrifying. I didn't think that just casting the backside of Extus was going to be viable, but who would have
Mm-mm.
thought a sorcery as your commander was actually viable?
Yep. And increasing vengeance is something I want to throw in as well. This got a recent printing in the Mystical Archives. So red red for increasing vengeance, instant, copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, copy that spell twice instead. You may
Ew.
choose new target copies. It has flashback. 3 red red.
Ew.
You may cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then
I
exile it. Yep.
I do like the alternate art. I wish this was our normal style sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. That one is pretty good. That's Nahiri, right?
It is.
Yeah. Uh,
Okay, so
in chat.
Ashen's doing his usual thing of off blue counter spells. Because yes,
Devil's
I do
Trickery.
love them, Ashen. Tybalt's Trickery, Withering Boon, Lapse of Certainty.
Yep.
So I kind of like Withering Boon.
Okay.
Withering Boon is 1 and a black, pay 3 life, counter target creature spell. Can be
Yep.
very handy stopping people's commanders. And
Yeah.
Tybalt's Trickery is just a silly card. It's 1 and a red for an instant. Counter target spell. Choose 1, 2, or 3 at random. Its controller mills that many cards, then exiles the cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card with different name than that spell. They may cast that
Yep.
card without paying its mana cost. They may put the exile cards in the bottom of their library in a random order.
Yep. Seems great. Let's go ahead and so we've also got increasing devotion as a suggestion from Luther in chat. Nice token maker. So increasing devotion is a sorcery, 3 white white, and you create 5 1/1 white human creature tokens. If the spell was cast from a graveyard, create 10 of those tokens instead. Flashback 7 white white.
Nice. So we spend 5 mana to create 10 mana, basically.
Right.
Or we
And then
spend
later on.
9 mana to create 20 mana.
Yep.
Yeah,
Seems like a good deal.
see, it's still a net gain, yeah.
Yep. Uh, let's go ahead and I mean, I want to copy this Awaken the Blood avatar, so I'm gonna throw in a lithiform engine here.
Oh. I was going to suggest let's do the Lithioform engine first.
Yep.
So,
4 mana artifact,
yeah, this is
legendary artifact.
so good, this artifact.
2 and tap. Copy target activated or triggered ability you control. You may choose new targets for the copy, but the one we're probably going to care about the most is the middle one. 3 and tap. Copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. And 4 and tap. Copy target permanent spell you control.
I
Yep.
mean,
So I mean, I want to imagine a world where we get to cast Anointed Procession and copy it, but that's just me.
we technically can use all three because yeah, you copy like Anointed Procession up for the bottom ability. The second ability you copy actually making the avatar, but the first ability, if we swing with an avatar, its triggered ability we can copy it again.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh
either
yeah.
it's more versatile than just copying our sorcery.
Right. However, if we do cast our copy our sorcery, you get the added benefit of making them sacrifice 2 creatures, and you still get 2 black red avatar creature tokens with haste. So I think it's effectively the same thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
But if you already have the blood avatar, yes, absolutely.
Now, the card that I was going to suggest
Mm-hmm.
was Helm of the Host.
Ooh, we're gonna put a Helm of the Host on a blood avatar. I
I
like
mean,
it.
why not? It's a card that is loved and hated at the same time. It's a 4 mana,
Sure.
equipped for 5. It's expensive, but at the beginning
Mm-hmm.
of your turn, combat on your turn, create a token that's a copy of equipped creature, except the token isn't legendary, so we can put it on other creatures if necessary. That token gains haste, so we can swing with that as well straight away.
Yep. I quite like it. So we have a suggestion from Mark in chat, Delphi Santano. We got Crackling Doom.
Oh,
I quite enjoy Crackling Doom. Uh, my only counter argument is that we're doing the sacrifice. Each opponent sacrifices a creature anyways off of Awaken the Blood Avatar, but I do quite like it. So red, white, black for an instant. Crackling Doom deals 2 damage to each opponent. Each
yep.
opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures that player controls.
I mean, it
However, that
gets
being
rid of
said,
the
if
big ones.
yeah, I mean, if we can't cast Awaken the Blood Avatar, I think that this is still a fantastic one just to be able to do it at
Mm,
instant speed for 3. Absolutely.
I
Because it's,
like it.
Awaken the Blood Avatar, we can only do it at sorcery speed. So I don't disagree. I think Crackling Doom has a spot here.
Mm. So I'd like to give you the warning at 100 cards.
Oof.
So
Okay.
if
So
we get suggestions, it's now
we need to find.
we need to find its
Okay.
replacement.
Sure. So uh, I want to add. Oh, hold on. Let me just take a look at chat here. So Luther says some card draw. Bonder's Enclave, which is a land.
Okay, let's have a look at that one. And yes, I know, Ashen. Cats are always the hardest part of doing decks like this.
So
Bonder's
Bonder's Enclave.
Enclave.
It's a favorite of yours in your mono white deck, I believe.
Draw a card, activate the ability only if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. It's in my angel deck. It's just
Yeah.
angels are generally 4/4s, so it's just good.
Yep. And Conqueror's Foothold. This is the opposite side of Conqueror's Galleon. The artifact. I'm just trying to understand, Luther.
Yes,
Conqueror's
so
Foothold, however, is fantastic though.
when Conqueror's Galleon attacks, exile it at the end of combat, then return it to the battlefield transformed under your control.
Right. Crew
2,
4.
draw a
Okay.
card, then discard a card. 4, draw a card. 6, return target card from your graveyard to your hand.
Is this the one that you were talking about, Luther? I'm just confirming.
So it's crew for 4.
Yep. Draw a card, discard a card, return target card from a graveyard to your hand. Yeah, I mean it's versatile for sure.
Yeah.
Colorless card draw, then card return. Yeah.
I'm gonna quite happily put in War Room though.
Yeah, War Room seems good.
It's
We do have.
it's pay
We're in
3
Mardu.
life,
Yeah.
but we've got a life gain.
Yep. And especially the fact that we're in Mardu, but we don't necessarily. I mean, it's just our color identity, actually, right? So we still
Yeah,
have to pay 3 life. Okay.
pay 3 life. Yeah,
Pay 3 life draw card. It's okay. I think I'm okay with that.
it's not the
Um,
worst. I mean,
nah, certainly not. So I have a creature I want to add. So Stormkill Artist is a fantastic new creature from Strixhaven, an uncommon. Dwarf Shaman for 2/2. Uh, Stormkill Artist gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control. However, it has Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a treasure token.
Ooh, nice.
So that'll pay for some colors at the very least.
Yeah.
Um, One thing I did also want to add, I'll find some cuts in a second, but Burgi seems fantastic.
Bergie. I love
Burgi,
Bergie.
God of Storytelling.
No,
2 and a red.
that's the wrong one. That's a Kithkin.
Whenever you cast a spell, add red. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. Creatures you control can boast twice. Um, yeah, I think I just want to do that side. I don't even care about Hornfell, Horn of Bounty, which is a legendary artifact. Discard a card, exile the top 2 cards of your library, play those cards this turn for 5. But
Yeah.
yeah, Burgi just generating us red is the important part, I think.
There's one card that I was thinking of. I'm trying to remember what it is. I think it's from Ixalan. Um, it's a black enchantment that creates treasure tokens when something dies.
Uh,
And I can't remember its
Revel?
name. Revel in
You talking about
Riches.
Yeah, that's whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, which Blood Avatar
Yeah,
sacrifices.
whenever a
Yep.
creature an opponent controls dies, create a colorless treasure artifact token with sacrifices to add a mana to. So we're going to be making minimum of none, maximum of 3 for each time a
Yep.
token swings. But if we have 10 tokens, we just win. I think that is a second thing for people to worry about, not just all the avatars bolting everyone, but the fact that we could win from our triggers of them sacrificing stuff.
Yep.
There we go. Ashen got it.
There we go. Um, yeah. Out of our 5 planeswalkers we have, Tybalt seems to be doing the least. As far as making a
Blasphemy.
1/1,
Blasphemy.
1/1,
His static is
per
making us not have
opponent's
people gain life.
right? But I think
Blasphemy.
okay.
Defend me, chat.
I
Defend
I
me.
would I would beg to differ, but Elspeth makes 3. Liliana just draws us cards with the creatures dying, and Tevizat makes 2 and draws us cards alternatively. Lolth makes a decent amount, does some work too. Um, Luther says, I forgot the poster child of Draw Greed, and a weird one is Idol of Oblivion. I believe Idol we already have in here. I think Ashton suggested it earlier. Greed is the enchantment, I believe.
Yeah,
So
I run it as the
4 and a
food
black.
deck.
Yep. 3 and a black for an enchantment. Pay a black, pay 2 life, draw a card. Yep.
Simple, beautiful, love it.
Seems good. Okay.
So we're at
So we're at
105.
okay. So let's start making some cuts before we add to these.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts initially? I
Well,
think
if you're going at the Planeswalkers, yes, Tybalt only makes 2 creatures. As much as I
for
love
its entire duration.
as much as I love Tybalt, yeah, we'll maybe board him. But I think Tevesh, who makes 2 creatures as a plus, Loleth, the Spider Queen, she's a must. She is
I think
beautiful.
she's great in this. Yeah.
Um,
Um,
Liliana is card draw, token generation, and Elspeth is just bonkers.
yep.
So I think
Hmm.
Planeswalkers we've got okay.
Uh, I'm questioning Teysa, the Oars of Sion, because it's whenever another black creature you control is put into a graveyard. Has to be a black creature versus some of our red devil or red creatures, I believe.
Which one? Teysa Karlov.
No, Karlov is fine. Oars of Sion.
Sacrifice 3 white creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever
But
another black
whenever
creature
another
you control is put into a graveyard from play, put a white one. Okay, so
right.
you're thinking that's too restrictive.
Potentially because we do have Assemble the Legion. Assemble the Legion is put a red and white soldier creature token, so we can't use those at all.
That's fair.
For that effect. A lot of the other ones are black creatures. Don't get me wrong, like Ink Shield and Rise of the Dread Marn. So there is an argument to be made, but Young Pyromancer as well, it's strictly red elemental creature tokens. I just
Yeah.
don't want to be restricted in that sense. Because Twilight Drover as well as white spirit creature tokens.
If you want some card draw, Obnixilis Reignited could be good. Ooh.
Reignited. That's the other planeswalker, I believe.
So he's 3 black, black. Ooh, where's he gone? 3 black, black. +1. Draw a card, lose 1 life. -3. Destroy a creature. -8. Target opponent gets an emblem with whenever a player draws a card, you lose 2 life.
Okay.
I mean, it's +1, draw an extra card each turn. Let's put that in place of Tybalt.
Yeah.
I like that. Though, I might have to make a case for Marinora at this point,
Okay.
because you have to sacrifice a rat to put a +1 to put X rats in play where X is the number of rats you control.
Right. So you
And
just
we
have to
don't
have
have
a rat
that.
first.
We have to have a rat to sacrifice and Marinora.
Right. So that
It
kind of goes hand in hand with Ogre Slumlord then?
Well, Ogre Slumlord is whenever a non-token creature dies, make a rat. That doesn't matter if it's
Right. So
our
that's the one that
creatures. So that one
right.
stays. But
Okay. But then Marinor. Okay.
I think Marinora is too specific to that one card.
Okay.
But Krenko
I
can
can see
just
that.
keep creating more off itself.
Right.
Are you getting where I'm trying to come from here? Because we have to
Yeah, no, I
sacrifice
hear it.
the rat.
Right.
We're not going to really increase until we have more rats in the whole entire deck. But because it's only 2 cards that interact with each other out of the 99, it's very
Hmm.
difficult to make work.
Right. I can see that. Um, the other one I'm kind of looking at as far as efficiency's sake, Legion's Landing, 1/1 white vampire creature token, and then it flips, tap for 3 and tap to make another white vampire creature token.
It
Just
is
looking maybe.
as a maybe. I mean, I have a card that does a similar sort of thing, but is a
Mm-hmm.
land, so it won't take up an actual card slot. So we
Sure.
can still keep Luther's idea of Legion landing, but Castle, is it Vantress? No, Ardenvale.
Ardenvale. Okay, I was gonna say Embereth if you're going red.
No, so this one
Castle
is a land
Ardenvale.
that taps for
Mm-hmm.
white and creates a 1/1 human soldier for 2 and 2 white. So it does the
Yeah.
same thing, an extra mana, um,
Okay.
but it doesn't take up a card in the 99, so we still keep the general feel of the card without having to sacrifice a card in the deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ashton got it.
That seems fine.
So we need
Uh,
2 more cuts.
sure. Let's see. I like the jankiness of Flamekin Herald because
Of
I
course
want
you
to
do.
cascade off of a sorcery
That's your
because it's
suggestion.
funny. I just want to do it. Let's see. Hmm.
Do you know what we've not done?
What haven't we done?
We haven't put in a soul
Ramp.
ring, we haven't put in an arcane signet, we haven't put in any talismans.
Luther says, "Can we see the instance for a minute?"
The instance we have 15. So
Yeah.
and yeah, we have a lot.
My argument, honestly, is that we're casting sorceries out of the command zone so much. I'm wondering if we need as many of those. However, they are all good, so it's just about cutting, right?
Yeah.
So Withering Boon, Tybalt's Trickery, Vanishing Verse, Fury Storm.
I'm wondering if
These
Rakdos Charm is actually good in this deck. I mean, if we're worried about other people's graves, we can always just run a Bajuka Bog.
true.
So I think,
We also have Zot's Will as well for exiling graveyards.
yeah. So I'm gonna put in a Bajuka Bog, um, just to give us the same effect.
Yeah,
and then
I'm okay with that.
that's another
I think
lap.
I think the Reckless Charm is just for the deal one damage to each to its controller.
Yeah, but if we're
Um,
doing the
go wide.
sacrificing with our avatars, they're not going to have
Yep.
many creatures, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I think so too. Yep. I
Yeah,
think that
Luther
Dan's
agrees.
also in favor of that.
Dan would be. Luther agrees as well, so we're on the same page at least.
My additional thought is that D-Spark might be too restrictive when we have so many unrestrictive cards.
Is
So
D-Spark in
I'm looking
here?
at, yeah,
Is it? Oh, it's that one.
yep. Um, because 4 CMC or I'm sorry, 4 mana value or higher, versus we have Anguished Unmaking and Vanishing Verse already to exile for targeted removal? Question mark?
Yeah, I think
What are
having.
your thoughts?
So we've got Vindicate, we've got Anguished Unmaking, we've got Swords to Plowshare, Vanishing Verse. I think D-Spark is the 4 or greater mana value sometimes is a little bit too restrictive.
Right.
But that puts us at 100. So
Okay,
what's our
so hold
mana
on.
curve?
I'm going to I would like to potentially suggest one as a funny, hilarious include.
Go on then.
What's a fantastic Boros card that came out of the secret lair lately? Gisela? Blade of Gold Knight? You gotta add the proper art too, by the way, Lotus.
Is it the let
The
me
secret lair one.
let me find it. This one.
Just think about how hysterical it is.
That's the little cherub. Oh,
It is. So, Gisela, Blade of Gold Knight. Do you want to read it so you can
I'm
share
just
with the class?
I'm I'm just giggling
I
through
see
this
you
now.
smiling.
4 red, white for a 5/5 angel with flying in first strike. That art, it's beautiful. If a source would deal damage to an opponent or planeswalker, an opponent controls, that source deals double damage to that player or permanent instead. If a source would deal damage to you or a planeswalker, a permanent you control, sorry, prevent half that damage rounded up. How can something so cute be so evil?
Exactly. And
Mind
that's
you,
what's
look at
going to,
Furbies.
yeah, well, that's what we're here for. So, Awaken the Blood Avatar is now a 3/6 that swings,
For
and
6.
whenever a creature attacks, it deals 6 damage, and it's gonna do combat damage for 6. You see
Oh,
where this is going?
you're disgusting.
Hey, I think it's a fantastic idea.
So we're at 101 now.
Okay, let's get rid of. Hmm.
Now you're stumped.
Huh.
Is Bergie really worth it?
Yeah, let's get rid of Bergie. Just make it simple. Let's get rid of Bergie.
There we go. And our mana curve is 3.82.
3.82, and our commander is 8 minimum.
8
So
minimum.
yeah, that's um. I'm going to also suggest a land or two here. What do you think of Vault? Some gnarly cards. A land, Idle Cut maybe from Ashen. Benson just says cut a land and add more cards. Great, I'm all for it. Um, so I'm gonna add a land though. You can cut one in you
Yeah,
know
that's fine.
Vault of the Archangel. So Vault of the Archangel is tap to add 1 to your mana pool, or 2 and Orzhov 4 and tap. Creatures you control gain Death Touch and Lifelink until end of turn.
That seems fair. Make our avatars have lifelink and
Death
death
Touch
touch.
and yeah, sweet. Uh, and yeah, I want to add a mirror. I'm sorry, Phyrexian Tower. Sacrifice a creature to add 2 black to your mana pool. Alternatively, add 1 colorless mana. This was in Jumpstart as a reprint.
It's also on the list.
Yep.
Uma. Yeah, it's had a few new reprints. It's still expensive, but it's
Yeah. Luther says, wondering how good goggles are for us. Copying Awaken the Blood Avatar could be fantastic, but yeah, I mean, 5 mana to do so.
I mean, it's 5 mana, but you get 1 red back.
Yeah.
Lithoform
Do it.
Engine is
Yeah.
3 mana. Yeah, but I do like
I
it.
think I like it. Yeah.
It's expensive, but we're
Um,
playing an expensive deck.
hmm.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
commander is a sorcery. This is probably the only commander deck that is just a sorcery.
I mean, you could do it with the front side. You can bring back non-legendary creature cards from your graveyard to your hand, but
Yeah, even even Luna in the background was disagreeing with that.
yeah, a little bit. That's my daughter, Luna.
Yeah, no, it's the sorcery all the way. I'm quite liking this actually. I was worried how this was gonna go. As in,
What, playing it out?
you gave me this commander and said I wanted to do this week. And I was like, how are you building this? And you were like, just the blood avatar. I was like, how are you building this? Like this.
Yeah, I'm glad you've come around. Um, yeah, I think my only concern is we might be missing some sack outlets, but I mean it's also on our sorcery, so I don't think it's that bad.
I
I
mean,
think
heavens
we're
forbid we can't cast the commander. It doesn't do much. I mean, we do have 29, no, sorry, 19 instants and sorceries.
Yep,
I mean,
and we're
yeah,
generating a decent amount.
I can see your point, Luther, that if we can't cast our commander, it's going to be a bit poop. But,
So I have a solution to that.
okay.
So let's go ahead and say Phyrexian Reclamation. So Phyrexian Reclamation, because that's a good point, right?
Yeah.
I think if you have Phyrexian Reclamation, you allow Extus to go to the graveyard, and you just bring it back with a Phyrexian Reclamation. So 1 black for an enchantment, 1 and a black to pay 2 life. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. We're searching up
Oh,
Extus, the front side.
yeah, we get Extus back and recart. Oh, yeah.
So I think that's a fantastic pool. But I mean, yeah,
So,
fantastic point.
are we saying Pyromantic Augurs for that then?
Um, let's see here.
I'm I'm a little bit confused still, like on the Conqueror's Galleon myself.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit like I
yeah.
understand. It just seems a lot of steps to get to the other side. I'm not sure, but it is a two. It's a 210. Well, I
Yeah,
don't know.
let's try putting the Conqueror's Galleon in the maybe board and see where we what we've got.
Okay, so that puts us at 100,
Um,
3.77. Looking good.
yep. And you know what? Just for consistency, let's cut one more land because I want to add in an Agadeem's Awakening. Because then we can just get back that uh Phyrexian Reclamation, I think. And any of our additional uh what do you call it? Aristocrats effects, right? So we can get back our uh Zulaport Cutthroat or Young Pyromancer and just get the train rolling again. So Agadeem's Awakening, X black 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 for another sorcery that returns from your graveyard to the battlefield any number of target creature cards that each have a different mana value, X or less.
Yeah, and on the back it's pay 3 life. It comes in untapped.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's basically a land, but a spell on the other side if we don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending
Okay.
on when we pull it, right?
Seems good.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm happy with
Is
that.
that we're at 100, right?
We are at 100.
Anything anybody else has to add or wants to suggest bring back from the maybe board instead of a card? Because I'm more than happy to add some suggestions in here.
Yeah, let me reel up the maybe board so you can see it.
Because I'm trying to think of anything that we've forgotten or that I don't want to, you know, uh, forget later. I mean, we still haven't put in Soul Ring.
No, Ashen would be thankful
Yeah, I know. That's why I haven't brought it up until just this second.
though.
Um, hmm. Ooh, there's something I can think of, however. Swap
Swap
idol for Tybalt.
done.
Okay.
Hey,
Uh,
chat
hey,
suggested. I have to agree.
hey, I actually have a better suggestion, I think. Um, so so Luther says my only hot take is utter end may be better than vindicate because it exiles. Yes, it's 1 mana more, but the claws may be important. Um, I don't
Utter.
disagree with that. What do you think of reconstruct history? That's a new lore hold card, right?
Hang on. So utter end comes in. Vindicate comes out.
Yeah.
And what was the card you were suggesting?
Uh, reconstruct history,
Oh,
the
that's
new
the
lore
red
hold
one.
card. Because and I say this because we're putting Tybalt back in. Totally.
Okay. 2 red white sorcery. Return up to 1 target artifact, 1 target enchantment, 1 target instant, up to 1 target sorcery, 1 target planeswalker from your graveyard to your hand. So we can cast Awaken the Blood Avatar, cast this, get it all back, and more.
Artifact, enchantment, instant, sorcery, and planeswalker. So we can't get the creature back from the graveyard,
Oh no, because
right?
it's the other side.
Mm-hmm. However, I mean, we can bring back some of the, things that we lost: Anointed Procession, Assemble the Legion, any of these enchantments, or and these are all up to, right? We can get some of those planeswalkers back, just kind of refill our hand.
Okay,
But I
there
don't think it's
is.
a must. It's sorcery speed, so there's an argument to be made.
There's another one that I would probably. Well, we're not running that many artifacts, so it's probably not that great. Well, we are, but
Yeah,
we're not.
we haven't even suggested a Smothering Tithe.
No, or
Nope.
a monologue tax for that reason.
Right. Yeah.
See,
Um.
I'm gonna
Hmm.
add this straight to the maybe board because it's good. I'm just not sure how good.
Sure.
Hello, Lotto. Welcome. You've caught
What's
us.
up, Lotto?
We've got our 100 cards, Lotto. Basically, we are building Waken the Blood Avatar as our commander. There is no other side. Extus does not exist. And we're just going to
Nope.
cast it repeatedly over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're just cleaning up, ready to finish. But if you have any suggestions, by all means.
Or just take a look at what we have and suggest some cuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm quite enjoying what we have so far.
I'm still
Uh,
so impressed with this. Like,
with Wolf.
no, Lolith, the Spider Queen, she is just so good.
No, she's fantastic.
Like, I want to build a deck with her and Garruk from
Mm-hmm.
Eldraine, where if a wolf dies, it puts a loyalty counter on all Garruks, and then put Lolith
Oh yeah.
in, and just have something that's green, black, aristocraty, planeswalker tribal kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, we already have Liliana as well as another static ability that just goes hand in hand, right? Draw cards off of everything dying on top.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got some just solid like, Liliana and Lolth synergy just off the face value there.
yeah, it's just so much good stuff. Yes, we're
Yeah.
in Mardu. So we are in the 3 colors. We can cast our commander if we need to, but we're going to cast the backside because if we sacrifice creatures, we reduce the cost by 2 colors each time we sack a creature.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Hence why we've got lots of token generation. We've also got lots of aristocrat style things going on. Black market, anointed procession to double up. And with the
Yeah.
tokens making people sacrifice things and damage, we've also got Tergrid, God of Fright. So we've got quite a lot of nasty stuff in here.
Yeah. My only other
Skull clamp.
yeah, so not be bad. My only other thought was also Mothra cares about creatures, right? It doesn't care about well, it doesn't care about whether it's a token or not, but tokens wouldn't come back, right?
Yeah, once they hit the graveyard, they're gone.
Hmm. Okay.
So are you happy for me to remove Mothra and put in the skull clamp that Lotto suggested?
I think I'm okay with that. Are you okay with that?
I'm happy with
Because
that.
we're making a lot of token generation. So I mean it kind of helps in a board wipe situation. But
Yeah.
besides that,
And I feel as Lotto joined us and has made all the effort to get here, they should get a card in. It's only fair.
yeah, let's throw in a skull clamp.
Yeah. And it's card draw as well. So as we did
Yeah.
take out the Idol of Oblivion, it fits in perfectly.
Yeah, I'm happy with this as it is. Uh I think the only thing I can think of that we missed is secure the waste, but I'm even wondering if we need that.
I doubt it.
We have plenty of token generation, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a
Uh,
pleasure to have you, Lotto, and everyone else, to be honest.
yeah. Thank you all for coming out and
Yeah,
suggesting cards. This has been fun.
it has. It's been really good fun. But I think that's pretty much a deck now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got two counter spells in here even.
Two
Yeah, and
counter
we can
spells.
got some
We have got some ramp in the form of the Archaeomancer's map and Keeper of the Accord.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Let's call it. I think this is a deck right here.
yeah, awesome.
Six
So
planeswalkers. You don't see that in a deck often.
we don't do this many, especially six.
Yeah.
I'm happy with this. It looks fun. I think this one
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try and build. There is a lot of cards I'm missing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can always tell what I've got because these little green and blue markers is cards that are in my actual collection, so you can see what I have and what I don't have, which is a lot. So I might have to do some playtest cards to get this going. Um,
Yeah.
but but I think, yeah, if you want the link to this deck, um, if you go to intothe99.com, go to the menu at the top, which I think it says content, and there's an option for Into the 99 Brewing It Live. At the bottom is all the deck lists, all the links to all the deck lists, including this one, which will be up in about an hour. And you can see the deck list for yourself and copy it, put it into your own brewing system and edit how you want. So don't worry, all links will be available.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm happy with this.
yeah, but otherwise, uh, thanks for everyone for coming and helping us build this deck. If you do want to see more, like I say, go to intothe99.com for more articles, videos, podcasts. The link to our Discord community is there as well, so you can join us and play more games as well. If you wish us to support us in a more financial way, you can go to our merch store and buy great t-shirts, so you don't have to just get into the 99, you can wear it. But otherwise, that's all from me. Is that all from you?
Yep. Yep. I'm happy with this. Let's make a bunch of tokens, swing out. Yep.
Yeah.
Make a bunch of avatar, black and red avatar creature tokens. Yep.
Mm.
What
And
avatar tribal?
yeah, surprise me with this one again. Next week, though, I have a card, and we're going to have a chance encounter with it. I'm not going to. You'll see it in an hour on the website what it is, but you know what it is. But
Yeah.
otherwise, thanks everyone for joining us. See you next week.
See you. Have a good one.